Hello, this is Tamir, and I am your host on the Halal Highway along with Bro Saeed. And I also have my own channel, the Tamir channel, where I hope to be posting things here and there. Today, I want to talk about my reversion and how I became a Muslim. Um, and it was not easy per se, as most Americans know, to become Muslim. I'll just jump right into it. I was born in the late 80s and I was born in Dallas, Texas. I was adopted into a Christian family, very kind, loving family. My mother was a Methodist minister, and my father was a military style uh, career guy and a successful businessman. He was really good at analytics and numbers. I should say they're not gone, they're still here, but they're retired. I am the youngest of my family, and I was always raised religious, and going to church was not an option. I would always go every Sunday. My mother, being a Methodist minister, always insisted that we go to church. One day I woke up and I guess I was just paying attention finally, and I suddenly understood the concept of the Trinity, but I didn't agree with it. I agreed with the idea of a God who is the God in heaven that guides mankind and sent us prophets like Noah, Moses, and Abraham, and so on. I did not believe that Jesus was a reincarnation of God in mankind form, nor did I believe he was a son of God or anything like that. It wasn't making any sense to me how these three could be one. And not only that, in order to try to bolster my faith, I did the worst thing that one could do. And I read the Bible from cover to cover, entirely, straight through. And it didn't help, it made things worse. In fact, the Bible was pretty much assuring me of my belief that the Trinity was not a thing. It's not something that you come across a lot in the Bible. So I had to find a priest, not my mother, to have a conversation and figure out if there was something I was missing. I found a priest and had the conversation and was hoping he could enlighten me, tell me something I don't know. Um, yeah, there was no answer out of this conversation. In fact, not only was there no answer, the basic idea of what he told me at the end of our conversation was I just needed more faith, that my faith was lacking, and I needed to sit and pray on it and have more faith. My reaction to that was, and probably still is, not exactly positive. Faith is great, don't get me wrong, but it also has to make sense. So from there, I decided that I was going to do some studying of religions, and I had come across the idea, well, Jesus was Jewish. Maybe I should see what that's about. If he was Jewish, then there's a message behind there that he got, and then I can get closer to the source of what is God. And so that's what I did. I went to Jewish school. I went to learn Hebrew, the whole 9 yards, and eventually had a conversion ceremony. Um, and I converted into the Reform sect of Judaism. It took quite a lot of studying to do that. From there, I had the privilege of going to Israel through the Birthright program, whether you are a convert or not. They do believe that they should send everybody to Israel. It's part of a government program between the US and Israel. And I didn't think much of it. I thought, hey, free trip to Israel. I've done a lot of world travels. I've gotten a lot of things checked off the list, but let's get Israel. And so I did. And I was excited as a Jew to go to Israel and to get this fulfillment in my life, and to have more questions answered, to find myself better, the whole 9 yards. In short, this trip was awful. It was not those things. It was not helpful in any way. It was not great. It was 2016, I believe, and I had seen clear signs of apartheid. So much so that where the guide that we were following on this trip was so planned out and so compacted into what they wanted us to do and what they wanted us to see, that you could clearly tell it wasn't reality that they were showing us. It was scripted. And the issue was I saw things that they maybe didn't want me to see. I snuck into places that they didn't want me to go. Muslim, Arabic sections of Jerusalem, believe it or not, it is all divided up. There are shops underground, in old Greek tunnels, and I wound up into a Arabic section, and the guide was not happy with me. He said he couldn't guarantee my safety or whatever. Those people were some of the nicest people I ever met in my life, to the point to where they kept giving me everything. I just went to these shops to go talk to them, and they were so happy that I went to go talk to them. I didn't even pay anything. They just kept giving me things, and I was like, guys, stop. Like, I'm so happy to meet you, but stop. you know that awesome hospitality. But what I did find out from talking with them is their lives are not the same as a Jewish person's life in Israel. I even snuck into Al-Aqsa to go see Al-Aqsa. They were not happy that I did that. I was greeted with guards with guns, and they escorted me back into the main town area. But I didn't care. My thought was, when else am I going to go see Al-Aqsa? Like, I just opened the door and snuck my head in. They did not like that whatsoever. So I was doing these things to get my own information, to get my own value out of this trip. But the one thing that I did see that stuck with me the hardest was I saw the military police beating women, young women, old women who were protesting or something. And these military police in full military gear with riot shields and batons really did just let this women have it. And I went to my guide and I was like, what is happening? Like, how is this okay? And he tried to give me some kind of excuse, or he said that they were Muslim or whatever. And I said, yeah, okay, but what could they possibly have done to deserve a beating with a metal baton? And there's no excuse for it. Maybe one of them threw a rock at a soldier, maybe one of them said something or gave the soldier a piece of their mind or whatever. That does not warrant the actions that I saw. And of course, today, 2025, we see actions far worse today. I found out that there was a mentality problem in Israel. And that was the message that they were also trying to imprint upon me. Everybody is our enemy. Everybody around us is our enemy. Nobody is our friends. And we are supposed to rule these lands. We have every right to do so. And you should be a part of this to come and live here and join us and take part in the military and, have your Jewish birthright to come and stay here. Um, Again, that is something that they were trying to push upon me. They fervently believed it. The problem was I wanted to get out and I didn't want to come back. There's too many issues of what's going on. Um, it was a very weird feeling being on this trip. So shortly after, I had a issue, um, a car wreck. I was in a car wreck, and my life got upended. I can talk about that another episode, but I was in a bad car wreck. I had a split up with my ex, who was Jewish, and I was not mentally okay. It took me about 2.5 years to get my life back together. This car wreck literally made me restart, um, back at, ground one. But I didn't go back to the Jewish temples. I didn't go back to what I was doing before. I felt rocked. I felt turbulent, not okay. Something was missing, and being Jewish wasn't it. So from there, I decided I would study all the world's religions once I had my life kind of back together. And that's what I did. I decided I would head first dive into the world's religions. I would go, I would participate, I would do the things that they do, I would eat the food that they eat, I would learn the things that they want to teach me. And that worked for a while. I really feel like I had a grasp on humanity and what is God. I had the great fortune of meeting someone who is still my friend today, who kind of like me now, is this pale white ginger lady. And when I had met her, I was astonished because she was in a full hijab and also a business style suit clothing. And I thought she's my age at the time and is still now. And I said, I have to talk to this person. And so I did. Mind you, I was just fresh out of recovery from the car wreck and whatnot, so I was kind of a mess. But she told me about a 101 class, which I took, and I was very happy to learn from. It was this Islam 101 Pillars class at the Epic Masjid in Plano. And that class was taught by Bro Saeed. And that is how I first met him. Really great class, really informative. And I was handed a Quran, and it kind of sparked me to the idea of Islam, but it didn't really quite take yet. So I continued my journey, and I continued learning the things that I wanted to learn. I studied Hindu, Buddhism, the Sikh religion. I learned how to tie turbans, and I tied them every single day. This is how you will see me just about every day. I am very comfortable wearing keffiyeh, a head wrap turban on my head. Everything was so close, but nothing was giving me that fulfillment that I needed. And I kept going back and forth and learning and studying and switching. And eventually, my fiance, my now wife, was just like, wait, what are you doing? Like, every now and then you keep switching, nothing quite fits you. I see you go back and you read the Quran. I see you go and you research this on Islam. Why don't you just go and stick with that for a while? And that seems to be what you're gravitating towards. And I was like, okay, you know what? You're right. You see it. I know it. I'm bouncing back and forth. I don't know what I want. And so I did. I decided to give Islam its due credit, especially after the Islam 101 class that I had previously taken. We decided to do a 101 pillars class together at a institute in the Richardson area near where we live, called Kalam Roots. And she very much enjoyed it as well. And we had some things happen to us that furthered my beliefs and pushed me into this thing. No matter how hard I tried to escape it, the Quran kept speaking to me. And I was basically looking for a sign from God. Any sign. Give me something. I don't care. You guys don't understand. Book could fall off the shelf. Done it. God, talk to me. I got to do this. That never happened. So then I decided to do something that I heard other people have done. And it's this thing where you open up the Quran and you just start reading randomly. Pick a page, open it, read it, and you could get a sign or a message from the Quran to speak to you. I was a little jaded when I first tried to do this. I thought, no way. I've read the Bible from cover to cover. I've read all these other religious books from cover to cover. This doesn't work like that. However, the Quran is written in such a way it kind of does work like that, where you can't get it from the Bible. I opened up the Quran sort of in the beginning, and in these beginning parts of the Quran, I read this chapter, and I was shocked at what I was reading. It pierced me through my heart. And I can leave a link hopefully up here, but along the lines, the chapter said, "And have you not heard, dear prophet, of the messenger Moses, who led his people through the desert and escaped the persecutions of Egypt?" Something of those lines. And it shocked me. I started just tearing up completely. Here I was being jaded about the whole thing, thinking, why did it have to be Islam? I'm an American, I'm white, I remember when the towers fell. Why does it have to be Islam? But I wanted to give it its due anyway. It was just excuses. Nothing but excuses. And when I read this chapter, this bit out of the Quran, it just shook me to my core. Here I was reading something Jewish about the Jewish people in a book that many in this country would say is the enemy of the people, of the Jewish people, of Americans, of you name it. I couldn't come to reason with that. There it was. I read it. Couldn't escape it. I had to go out. I had to get some coffee. I told my wife, I got to get out of here. I got to clear my head. And she was like, "Are you okay? Are you like crying?" I was like, "I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go." That's what I did. I went out and I cleared my head. A few other things in life a little shortly after happened. I won't really get into them, but the Quran spoke to me further, and it became this is not a if kind of thing. This is a when kind of thing. And I just needed to decide when. And so I eventually just told my wife, like, I need to do this. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what this means for us. I don't know if you like it or hate it, but this is what I'm looking for. It keeps speaking to me. I can't escape this thing. I have to join. And she said, okay, it helps you. Um, you know, I like the class. It is beneficial to you. We'll figure it out, and you can do this. Be a Muslim, and um, we'll go on with our lives. So then I reached out to Bro Saeed, and I texted him, and I said, "Listen, I I'm wondering if you can have the time. Would you please give me my Shahada? I would like for you to do it. If it's possible, can we coordinate a time?" He was happy that I reached out to him, and he was more than happy to give me my Shahada. And it's kind of how it all happened in a nutshell. From that point on, even though I had said the words basically in my head numerous times, not in the official order, Al-Hamdulillaah, he guided me through the proper words, and I became Muslim. And I think because of the journey that I was on and how I went about it, I took my time, and I have no regrets about it whatsoever. I felt like I have learned a lot from it, and it will never end. I will always continue to learn. But that is the journey, right? The journey is not when you become something or how you got to the end. The journey is what you're going through to get to that point. And that journey is very important. And I felt like I had spent my journey learning about the world and its religions and God and how we are all so interconnected with one another. And I am happy to be a part of that now as a Muslim. And I want to continue that journey to help by talking to people, Muslim or not Muslim, and to talk to reverts and get their stories about their journeys and how they became, reverts into Islam. That's my number one goal. And I think it will continue to be my number one goal as I go forward in life. And as long as I have a platform that I can work with to facilitate that, I will continue to strive toward that goal. So, yeah, that's in a nutshell my story. I can do more episodes in the future to get into some further details, but as for this one, I think we'll end it there. Thank you so much for hearing me out and staying tuned in. Please like and subscribe. Tune into the Halal Highway. Check out the videos that we have coming in the future. If you would, please like and subscribe to the Tamir channel, and be on the lookout for little videos that I have also in the future. Both will probably have similar videos on the platform. So stay tuned. There will be more to come. And thank you so much.